Okay, guys, starting with number starting with number one, state if it's arithmetic, geometric, or neither. And then we're going to, if it's arithmetic or geometric, we're also going to find the growth. Can you guys all tell that this one is multiplying by 3? Okay, so that means it's geometric and R equals 3. Number 2, can you tell that it's going up by 7? Okay, that makes it arithmetic, and D is 7. Okay, what's happening in number 3? Yes, it's going up by 10. Yeah, this one is neither. Guys, have any questions about numbers 1 through 4? Anything at all? Are you sure? Good. Okay, move down to number 5. Find the common difference. The term named in the problem, explicit and recursive. Okay, first thing I like to do over here is find D and term 0. D looks like it's going up by 10, so D is 10. And term 0 would be what? 18. Okay. Here's the formula for explicit. U of n equals 10 n plus 18. Okay, now we're going to find the 37th term. Plug in 37. Oh, calculators, but charting back here. So the 10 times 37 plus 18 is 388. Okay, and then last thing on this problem is recursive. And recursive formulas are all the same. They have the same start every time. This is the setup for every single recursive that we do. And what we do is we name the first term, which is 28 in this problem. And then down here, we state the growth, and it's going up by 10 each time. Anyone have any questions about number 5 at all? Anything? Oh, I found T1 just by looking right here. Or you can add 10 to T0 if that's what you were saying, which is the same thing, but yes. But yes. Anything else, guys, for number 5? Okay, number 6. Given two terms of an arithmetic sequence, find the common difference. First 5 terms, term named in the problem, explicit or recursive. Okay, this is going to take us a minute. So I'm going to go x1, y1, x2, y2. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so I got the slope, and then I chose the first two to be my x and y point. You can choose the second two if you want. These are just smaller numbers and they were first, so I picked those. Okay, let's pause there. Any questions about what I did so far? So I labeled them as coordinates, found the slope, plugged in a point to find B. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and change it to be a sequence. Which is my explicit. Does anybody remember how to find the terms of a sequence when you have the formula? Does anybody remember what I did? Okay, so what I did was I put negative 21 sort of in a little cloud. Do you remember? Because it doesn't really, it's not part of the sequence, it's in front of the sequence. So I put negative 21 in a little cloud, and then I said, okay, they're going up 9 each time. So that means my first term has to be negative 12, then negative 3, then 6, then 15, then 24. Do you guys remember my little cloud thing? Okay, now I'm going to find term 32. Too lazy to list out the 32 numbers, so I'm going to plug in 32. And then the last thing I'm going to do is the recursive. Recursive start the same every time. They look like this, no matter what problem you're on, every single time. And the first term is negative 12, and they're going up by 9 each time. You guys have any questions about number 6? That one was kind of long and a little bit spicy. Do you have any like questions about where numbers came from or anything at all? Okay, go down to number 7. Find the common ratio, the term named in the problem, the explicit and recursive. Okay, so this one's geometric. And the common ratio is the multiplier. So I like to start by putting the multiplier and term 0 over here. It looks like it's multiplying by 5. How do I get the number in front? Yes, Landon. Yes, okay. So I'm going to go -2 divided by 5 to go backwards. Perfect, negative 0.4. Okay, now for geometrics, the explicit is a little bit different. It's T of n equals T0 times R to the n. Negative 0.4 times 5 to the n. Okay, now for this, you have two options. You can either just keep multiplying by 5 and go out to the ninth number, or you can put this in the calculator, but you need to know how to do the exponent in the calculator. In these, it's this up arrow guy. It's called a caret. Negative 0.4 times 5 to the 9. Anybody need calculator assistance? And remember, even if you like blank on the test, you can just keep multiplying out to the ninth number. It's not a big deal. Okay, last bit, recursive. Again, starts out exactly the same as all the other recursives. First term is here, -2. And then this one is multiplying by 5 each time. Not yet. Okay, what type of problem is this? What's this called? Yes, perfect. Fraction buster. What's the least common denominator in this one? 24, great. 24 times, 24 times, 24 times, 24 times. I feel like I should know that. Moment of truth. If they come out evenly, I did it right. Oh man, it's looking good. Okay, what do we want to undo first? Yeah, 72V is always the lowest one with the letter on it. It's always my favorite. And now -55. Okay, what goes into both of those? 5? Okay, let's go on number 9. Number 9 needs a box. Okay, this side needs distributive property, and we have to be really careful and distribute the -6. So you start with 1, and -6 times 3 is -18. And -6 times -x squared is positive 6x squared. And then this side is this stuff, 6x squared. If I combine these, that makes -11x minus 35. Okay, what did I tell you guys about the x squareds in this class? Every time. And if they don't, that means you did something wrong. So now these two add together to be -17. And now you have just a regular equation. Yay. All right, moving on. Number 10 and 11 are called same base exponentials. And number 10 is great because it's already same base, so you can cancel it out. We love those. Those are awesome. 3p equals 2 minus 2p. It's my favorite right here. No, I just, you know me, fraction girl. What I don't like is like this repeating horrible decimal. I prefer that in a fraction. If it comes out nice though, in a decimal, I don't care. Okay, now number 11. Do these have the same base? No. So I'm going to come over here, always start with the bigger one and break it down. So 64 is 32 times 2, which is 2 times 16, which is 4 times 4. Okay. How many twos does it take to multiply to get 64? Yes. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful. 2 to the negative 2 and minus 3 equals 2 to the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you can cancel out the twos. Okay. Scroll down. Okay. This one, square root equation. How do I undo a square root? Yes. Yes. Square. Beautiful. Square, square. Okay, now when you square a square root, the squared and the square root cancel each other out, and you have 6 minus 2r by itself. And then 4 squared is 16. Okay, number 13 is the opposite. This one has a squared in it, and it says solve by taking square roots. The problem is you can't square root it yet. You have to get the x squared alone. So what I mean by that is, let's pretend that this was the problem you were working on instead of this problem. What would you do first on this one? Perfect. Okay, now post-it note problem. What would you do next? Mm-hmm. Okay, now you see it's come out nice. How do I undo a squared opposite of this? square root. However, you have to remember that when you square root an equation, the answers are plus and minus. There's two answers, plus and minus. Do you want to know why there's two answers? Okay. Yeah. So what if I did this? I get 25. What if I do this? I get 25. There's two different things that work to get 25 because a positive times a positive is a positive and a negative times a negative is a positive. There's two options. You're just going to have to remember that whatever you can do to make sure that you don't forget that whenever you square root an equation, it's plus or minus. Maybe a really weird wavy arrow with an exclamation mark will help. I don't know. I don't know if you remember, but the first time we did this was backward function machines. Okay, anyway. Write the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line described. Okay, parallel. Parallel slope is the same. So the slope is negative 1/5. X is negative 5. Y is 0. Y equals mx plus b. 0 equals negative 1/5 times negative 5 plus b. What's negative 1/5 times negative 5? Okay, 5s cancel and the negatives cancel. 1. Y equals negative 1/5 x minus 1. Okay, so remember, parallel lines have the same slope, different y-intercepts. Okay, moment of truth. What do I do when it's perpendicular? Landon? Yeah, you flip it and change the sign. Flip and change the sign. Okay, what's negative 7/5 times 5? 5's cancel, what's left? Negative 7. Okay, hold on. Let me grab my chapter 3. All right, 1 second. Okay, last two, your fave. Dimensional analysis. You love it. Oh, so much you love it. Oh, how you love it so. Oh, yes. You've just been waiting all period for me to get to the dimensional analysis problems. Oh, because you're so excited. Okay, how many milliliters are in a 12-ounce soda can? So 12 ounces. This is not a rate. They gave you ounces, so you start with ounces, and we know we're going to have to put ounces on the bottom to cancel it. The problem is I don't know anything about ounces. So I'm looking at this thing. Up to no help. Ounces in a pound, but then pounds gets me to kilograms, not milliliters. I might have to do some Googling. What do I want to know? How many ounces in a milliliter? Thirty-three point 814 ounces in a liter. Okay. 33.814 ounces in 1 liter. Okay, and then 1 liter has how many milliliters? 1,000. Why did I? This is wrong. This is just okay. Okay, now what do I do on the calculator? So 12 times what? 1,000 divided by 354.9. Hmm. Okay, average speed. So 229.8 kilometers per hour. This one's different because it started with a rate, so I have to start with the whole fraction, not just the top. Should we start with the kilometers or should we start with the hours? Hours, okay. So hours on the top. So 1 hour has 60 minutes. Minutes on the top. 1 minute has 60 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna use this. So 1 kilometer is 0.621 miles. Right. And then 1 mile is, anybody remember the number? Nice. 229.8 times 0.6221 times 5,280 divided by 60 divided by 60. Again, on the test, I promise I will give you any of those that you need other than hours and minutes. I figure that everyone knows those are 60s, but everything else I'll give you. Okay. Can you guys all look up at the screen real quick? Okay, we need to talk about a couple of things here that are very important. First, your chapter 5 test and your final exam are the same day. There's not two separate tests, it's just one. Does that make sense? Okay, it's going to be next Wednesday. First and second period finals are Wednesday, and then third and fourth are Thursday, and then fifth and sixth are Friday. Each period is 2 hours long for your finals. And Wednesday and Thursday have access between, but Friday does not. Yeah. Yes. I don't know. Just Google it. Google like the. Oh, that's good. Okay, I'll get it written on the board today. Yeah. Okay. So there's not two tests, just one. Does that make sense? Okay. You get a full sheet of paper, front and back for notes. I'm gonna give you a piece of computer paper. You can use graph paper or whatever, line paper, whatever you want. You can use a whole sheet front back. Okay. They have to be handwritten and they'll be stapled to your text. Okay, there are 50 multiple choice questions. Yeah, and 8 third, some of them are really fast. Like, is this arithmetic, geometric, or neither? Like, I promise you, they're fast. And 8 open answer questions. You guys know what I mean by open answer? Like, on your normal test questions, like if you actually have to show the work and stuff. So 50 multiple choice where you can just circle a bubble. You can show, I mean, you can definitely write stuff down, but 8 of them where you have to show your work. Okay, yeah, it's really not that bad. Okay, it's a test grade itself, and it can replace your lowest test grade, meaning that because you learned it somewhere during the semester, if you have like one really bad test sitting out there, this can replace your lowest test if you do better on it, which is great. Good for your grade. It will only replace your lowest grade if you score higher on the final than you did on your test. So that means I'm not gonna like go back and make any of your tests worse. Just saying, if it helps, I will help. If it doesn't help, I won't. Does that make sense? Okay. And all of the topics are listed in the Google Classroom thing. And all of the topics are in your packet. So look at your packet, please. Go past the sequences, doctor. Go past the team tests. And then this is the review assignment we're going to be working on. That has all of the topics for the final on it. Okay. Now let's look at the stamp sheet 5, please. Here, or as in tonight's sheet, the one. We just did the review note. Tonight's homework is 126 through 131 B. You don't have to do C, D, E, whatever, that probably just go to B. tomorrow, we're going to do the sequences doctor thing in class. And your homework is going to be to work on that review assignment. And then the next day, we're gonna do the team test and your homework will be to work on the review assignment. And then after that, all we're gonna do is work on that review assignment and your sheet of notes. So you've already learned everything. We're not gonna teach anything new after this. That's it. The learning is over. Now you just have to make your, review and get your notes sheet. Did anyone hear what I said you could use on the file? Yeah. How many points is the final? It's 100. So it's 2 tests. Okay, but let's say you get like a 95 on it or something like that, like a 95%, then I would take that back to the percent of one of your previous tests if you did better. So it's like 100 points. So this is what do you guys see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stamps for this, and there's 80 questions. So every 10 questions is a stamp. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's going to be 5 nights homework and 3 days classwork. So I would try to do 10 problems and 10 problems and 10 problems and 10 problems and 10, 10, and 10, and 10. It's really not that bad if you break it down that way. It's just 10 per city. It depends on your class. I don't really know. I don't know if I got focused though. We have to final there now. The final is its own grade. And it can only help your other test. So it is a grade on its own though.